Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. We begin today with a composition called Bara Maha in Rag Maj, and it is a composition by the fifth Nanak, Guru Arjan, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But first, the recitation. Ik Oankar Satgur Prasad किरत करम के विछड़े कर कृपा मेलो राम चारे कुंठ दे दिस पर में थक आए प्रभ की साम देन दुद्धे ते बाहरी किते न आवे काम जल बिन साख कुमलावती उपजै नाही दाम हर नह मिलिए साजनै कत पाइए बिसराम जितगर हर कंत न प्रगटई पठ नगर से ग्राम सर्ब सिगार तंबोल रस सुन देही सब खाम प्रभ स्वामी कंत विहोणिया मीत सज्जन सब जाम नानक की बेनंतिया कर कृपा दीजै नाम हर मेलो स्वामी संग प्रभ जिसका नह चलत धाम. Now, the Baramaha, also read as Baramas, means the song of the 12 months. It is a poetic form in the Indian tradition and appeared in vernacular literatures of northern India at a very early date. They're very old, ancient poetic forms. And a Baramaha is typically structured around the sequence of the 12 months of the year and assigns a stanza to each month. The poetry in Baramaha reflects the change of the seasons, but it does so in deeply personal tones and feelings. These could be feelings associated with food and drink, or the farmer feeling the changes of the agricultural cycle as the seasons change, or the experience of an agonized woman looking for union with her man. There are different forms of Baramasas. There's the oral form and the written, the oral being much earlier, and the latter, which is literary and textual, as the Baramaha that we are reading is, came out of these oral traditions. And not all Baramasa forms follow the 12-month sequence. There are, for instance, the very popular Chaumasa, whose focus is specifically the 4 months of the rainy season. However, the great majority of Baramasa literature is called Viraha Baramasa, or songs of separation, because that is the theme. And these are lyrical songs where the speaker is almost typically always a woman, a wife or a neglected mistress, lamenting her separation. And in the Guru Granth Sahib, we find 2 compositions that have been labeled Baramaha, one by Guru Arjan, the 5th Nanak, in Rag Maj, that's the one that we are reading, and the other by Guru Nanak, Nanak the First, in Rag Tilang. And both of these compositions in Gurbani can be called Virha Baramasa forms, because the metaphor of a woman has been used for the self that has been separated from its source. And this Baramaha has 14 stanzas, 12 for each month, and 1 each for a prologue and an epilogue. Today, we will be focusing on the introduction, the prologue. So essentially, the message here is Kirat Karam ke Vichure, that because of deeds past, we have been separated. Hard to tell what those deeds were, but the fact is, because of past deeds, we are in a state of separation. Therefore, have mercy. Please reunite us with Ram, which is the appellation for the self. So the separation is from the self, and the desire is for the self. And the Guru says that over time, in the 4 corners and 10 directions of the globe have we wandered. In other words, we are tired. We return to you, thak aaye, to seek your sanctuary, Prabh ki Sam. And then in the second para here, there is a comparison of a milk-producing cow, the value of a milk-producing cow, as opposed to a cow that does not produce milk or has dried up. It is of no use to anyone. Den dudde te bahari, without milk, kite na ave kam, it is of no use. Similarly, jal bin saakh kumlavati, without water, crops don't grow. Upajay nahi dam, in other words, it is not of any profit, because crops are grown to make a profit for the farmer, for his livelihood. So if you don't have water, you're not going to have crops. You don't have milk from a cow, it really is a liability. Similarly, harana na miliyes sajne kat paiye bisram, without the har self, the self within, without the beloved sajan, how can we find rest? And the comparison is made, jit kar har kant na pargatai, that house-like heart or that body-mind where the self is not manifest, that heart is like a burning furnace. Pat, nagar se gram, pati, a furnace in the middle of a township. And the body-mind has been likened to a township in Gurbani, nagar. So the heart, the restlessness within is like a furnace. And then all adornments, physical adornments, all arousal of passion are short-lived, are useless. And therefore, Nanak ki benantiya, kar kirpa dije naam, impregnate me, make me full, have mercy, make me full with self-knowledge. This is the analogy of a pregnant cow that is full. Har melo swami sang prab jiska neh chaltam, lead me to the presence of the Supreme Master, whose unshakable abode is eternal. So there is this notion of unshakable, because it is the mind in its natural state that is running around. So we notice here that even though the Sikh gurus have described the divine in gender-inclusive or gender-free terms, what is noticeable is that they've adopted a very feminine tone in composing their own Bani, as we can see here in Guru Arjan's articulation of longing and separation. The feminine self is restless. It's burning with desire for Ram, the indwelling self, and whose essence within is always available as Prabh, but we don't know how to access it. And without this wisdom, we bring exhaustion upon ourselves, because the mind is unstable without this wisdom. It is always chasing after illusions. That is why we are wandering all around. This is another way of saying you lack clarity without this vision. And so therefore, we need that clarity through this wisdom, which is innate to us. And that is the supplication. in this introduction. That is the setting. A separated self longing for that innate wisdom. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.